So I stumbled upon this the other day while I was just vibing out, and I thought it was interesting to talk about a little bit. There was this post by this January 6er. She's a convicted January 6er. Okay? Convicted January 6 rioter. And convicted insurrectionist, okay? She's a bad hombre. Some people may say a bad hombre. Anyways, she made a video about how she wants to vote for Biden and how she did actually vote for Biden in the South Carolina primary instead, and made a video about why she believes so. In response to this, there's a lot of people saying, hey, yo, heck you, we don't like you. But one of the biggest posts about it was this one, okay? Congratulations, Democrats. You alienated millions of your own voters. In doing so, but Biden finally moved Biden finally moved far enough to the right to win over January 6 demonstrators. I would say rioters, not just demonstrators. Hope it was worth selling out every one of your marginalized demos to accomplish. Best of luck in November. What is she on about? Well, this is the video that they were responding to. So let's just take a look at what they were on about.
Hello, everyone. This is Pam Hemphill. I just got finished voting for the primaries here in South Carolina. They gave me 2 stickers, one here and one on my hat. I'm so excited. Get out there and vote for the primaries if you're in South Carolina. You know, Mike Johnson today, you know, he runs his politics off of his faith. And a lot of people I'm talking to, they don't know about the Christian nationalists or the Republicans' Project 2025. They want to turn this into a Christian nation. And our Constitution has nothing to do with religion, okay? Freedom of religion, freedom to be a Baptist, Protestant, Catholic. You know, he's in the Baptist congregation, and they're second to the largest group in the Congress next to the Catholics. And so you Catholics, you got to know this, and Jewish people, that they want to get rid of
any Jews in chat?
Excuse me, to have your own beliefs in God. It's crazy. It's insane. And of course, they want to get rid of the gay rights. And if you have an abortion, they want to probably have you arrested.
So did you record that thing I asked you to record? Yeah, should have sent over. If not, if you didn't get it, I can try and do it again.
Dismantled our government as we know it today. You've got to learn about it. You got to look it up. There's plenty of information on YouTube. Just Google in Christian nationalists and Project 2025. There's another video on Netflix called The Family. That's the roots of all this insanity. It's where it all started back in 1930 with Doug Cole. Okay, he's since passed away, but they are still having their groups and their philosophy is spread all over, and it's deep in the Congress, very deep. And they're using Trump, because he's the chaos junkie, to bring about their plan. He's a pawn to them, because they don't care who's the president. You got to realize this. Of course, they're pushing for Trump, of course, but whoever is going to be president on the Republican side, of course, they're going to make him a dictator and have him follow the Project 2025 ideas. And you got to look it up and see who's involved. I can't do it all in a small video like this right now, but it's frightening. But the main thing today, what I wanted to get this message, is for my friends out there on Twitter. I promised them I'd do a video and show my sticker. They gave me 2 of them. So we could just do our part. And don't think your voice doesn't count, because it does. And your vote counts very much. You count. And what you have to say and how you vote will count.
So yeah, that's basically the whole video. There's a little bit more, but she, you know, it's basically the same. That's what the whole video is, okay? And a little bit on this person, a little bit on this person, all right? This is, let me try and get her name correct. This is Pamela Hemphill, okay? Now, I personally don't understand this response. In my personal opinion, I don't really understand this response. It's very clearly seems like this lady is not, well, at least at the moment, not like a super far right, in this case, fascist sympathizer dictator who wants to overthrow America and beat all trans people to death or something. It just doesn't seem like that's true. I don't know if she has good opinions on trans people. I don't know, probably not. Most people have like, either middling or slightly bad, like just general opinions if you ask them a bunch of questions about trans people, right? Because they're just not knowledgeable about the situation. But I don't know, like they're making it seem, when I saw this tweet, okay, I thought this video was like, finally Joe Biden has moved to the right. His evil permeates the entire country and I felt it. I woke from my slumber and knew that demons walk this earth. And Biden, as the progenitor of the generational hell's division of evil, shall bring about the world from which I want. Fascism will strike the land and rake through the people, and the wheat shall be separated from the chaff, and Satan will win this earth. Thank you, Joe Biden. That's what I thought that it was being said in the video, but no, apparently not. Completely different. I think this response is a little unhinged in my personal opinion, but we'll learn a little bit more to see what's going on. Not the wheat and the chaff. Good thing she isn't in a cult anymore. Yeah. But apparently this person just does not agree. They said, you can't watch this video and draw your conclusion. It just isn't supported, like, at all. It's almost the opposite. That's kind of like what I was thinking, that this is like the complete opposite of what this person was saying. But I don't know. Listen, they have arguments. They have arguments for why it's not like that. Nobody cares about your racist, xenophobic, COVID denying, genocidal, but MAGA ass opinion is. You missed a couple. Racist, xenophobic, homophobic, sexist, transphobic, anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic chaser. Okay, there's a couple more in there you missed. You got to keep that up. You got to keep that up. I'll be quizzing you on this next time. Okay. Ableist. You're right. We need that one too. Anti-gamer. Well, that's ableist. Caucasian. True. So true. So true. Honestly, couldn't be more true. Isn't she literally saying the exact opposite in this video? She thinks Trump is too far right and she's moving left. I don't understand why you get mad at someone who voted for the right reasons. Fuck off. Holy shit. I heard pho is pretty tasty though, so that's a little sad. But white liberals will adopt any Republican the moment the GOP invokes a tad too... Wait, what? White liberals will adopt any Republican the moment the GOP invokes a tad too extreme. It evokes an opinion that's too extreme? Evokes extremism? How do you idiots become the party of Liz Cheney and Adam Kissinger? You didn't actually read the content, just the headline. It's clear, accept and move on. No, I just know right-wingers right-wingers disguising their right-wing shit, unlike you Lincoln Project stands. What are they talking about? What in the world are they going on about? This is the actual definition of yapping, in my personal opinion. This is actually yapping. When you're talking, but you're not saying anything. Especially when it's disconnected from what people are talking about. It is genuinely waffling. It's barely literate. It is... I didn't want to say that, but a bit. It is like barely literate as well. So I'm assuming that what's going on here is that this person believes that this demonstrator, this like January 6th demonstrator, is still a far right fascist. She believes in like a conservative dictatorship to take over America and kill all minorities, and like do Holocaust 2, but this time instead of Auschwitz, it's Austin Birkenau, in trans people in the work camps and all that type of stuff. I don't know how they came to this conclusion about this type of stuff, but I think it's just because they believe Biden's moved really far to the right, and also they believe that this person is far right, so they must be far right together, which I don't believe is true. If I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really think that Joe Biden's position on Palestine, Gazans, Palestinians, Arabs in the region, Israel has changed much at all. If anything, it's gotten slightly better. just ever so slightly better, but generally, I just don't think it's changed that much. Now, you may not have known his position on like Palestine. It's the same when it comes to like John Fetterman, right? Like it wasn't a big issue. Israel wasn't really big in the news here in America, so obviously people didn't talk that much about Fetterman's views on Palestine, but they were always the same. He actually didn't change his views on Palestine and Israel. It was the same. He just didn't talk about it because it didn't come up that much. But people knew. Like, he said before that he's like 100% kill all Arabs in the area if needed, because Israel needs its space, and that's just like kind of how it is. We just didn't talk about it that much. But that's our problem for not like doing that much research on those specific topics than like, you know, anything else that's happened. So I don't think Fetterman has really moved necessarily that far right. Honestly, I don't think the label progressive really meant anything to him, if I'm going to be honest with you. It's not really that serious. I don't think he really cared that much, and I just don't know if his opinions changed that much. But I don't think as far as I've seen, his opinions haven't changed all that much, right? So it's one of these things. But this woman's almost completely different. It seemed like her opinions have changed a lot. But for some people, if you just like if you hold a bad political view like once in your life, that's just kind of who you are, and there's no escaping it because you're just born evil. You're just an evil person now. No, just don't buy conservative crocodile tears, you dumb shits. I mean, how do you know that she's lying? You're going on about Mima being for gay rights. Ignore the stepping over trans people. When did she mention trans people? This woman doesn't give a shit about civil rights for black people. When was black people mentioned? She's pro-genocide of Palestinians. Is this true? Is this even true? I don't know. And if I'm going to be honest, that's the view of your average, like, for one, that's the view of like your average person in America. I was gonna make a tweet about this, but I didn't want it to be like a big like rambling tweet. But on this idea, okay, I personally believe, in my personal opinion, that I've been seeing a lot of lefties talk about how the just idea in America when it comes to Israel and Gaza is closer to our opinion, like cutting off all aid to Israel and like specifically demanding a ceasefire and all that type of stuff. I don't believe that's your average person's opinion. Okay. And you can look at poll after poll after poll and figure out that that's not true. Another thing to prove that that's not true is also John Fetterman, after coming out to be more pro-Israel, vocally pro-Israel, has had a approval rating bump. He has, right, by about 12 points. Now, a lot of things play into that. He doesn't sound as like mentally disabled as he did back like right after he had his stroke. That was a big like drain on his approval rating. So I'm not sure if that's all completely due to his like vocal stance for Israel, but it's very true. And you should never arguable. I don't think it's arguable. I think poll after poll after poll has shown that his approval rating has had a bump since October 7th. Now, once again, like I said, it's not all completely due to his vocal stance, but it is part of it due to his vocal stance for Israel. Yes, that's true. One thing you need, and so because of that, I am under no illusion that people are going to be generally, on average, super pro-Palestine, pro Gazans in this situation, because killing Muslims and killing more Muslims and killing as many Muslims as possible and killing just a couple more just to show them how strong we are will always be a popular position in American politics, right? And I don't think that's something that you should. I don't think that's something that you should just completely forget. Okay, killing Muslims is as American as apple pie. True, we've been doing it for about as long as we've been an international superpower, and dropping bombs on Muslims will always be more likely than not at least somewhat beneficial to the president at that time. Okay, so the fact that it's even in contention that we're talking about this right now, that we're even talking about the humanity of the people that we're bombing and paying Israel to bomb, is honestly something that should give you so much hope, because I always believe at least probably like 20-30% of Americans will always be happy to see bombs being dropped on Muslim countries, no matter what's really going on. Honestly, airstrike memes come to my mind. Yeah, I mean, it's just like what was that, Judge Jeanine Pirro, that clip? Bomb them again and again. Wait, what was that clip?
My resolution: airstrikes. bomb them. Bomb them, keep bombing them, bomb them again and again.
This will always be a popular American position. Bomb more Muslims, okay? So at the moment, a solid about 35% of the constituency is really has, for the first time, been incredibly pro-Palestinians. This is a massive change. This has been a massive change historically, because I feel like a lot of people just misunderstand, especially a lot of my younger viewers, me included, and this has helped me this is a learning experience for me. A lot of people just misunderstand how gleeful this country has been in the entirety of our existence to bomb Muslims. Like, I feel like if you put up a button in like Times Square, okay, and it said bomb Muslims, and it was attached to drones that were just flying above the Middle East just randomly, right? And they were all carrying bombs. I promise you that button would be pressed back in like 2005, probably 10,000 times a day. There'd probably be people who would just be sitting there pressing it the whole time. And then there'd be a line, and then someone would be like, hold up, man, you're hogging, save some for the whales, dude. You're hogging the bomb Muslims button. I want to get some myself. You completely misunderstand how happy and gleeful this country is to bomb Muslims. So yeah, never think that like it's like a super popular position to be us, okay? But we're progressives. That's literally the point. We're supposed to push society forward. We're further left than the general populace. That's the point. If we were just in the middle of the general populace, we'd be centrists. We wouldn't be progressives. We're always supposed to be ahead of the curve on that to help pull society to the left. That's the point. So our position is not going to be super popular, and it probably won't be super popular for another 30, 60 years, maybe, honestly, but it's the highest it has ever been, and you should take that in stride. And it's not really about, and don't let me make you think that it's like, this is a sad thing. It's a great thing that being pro-Palestinian and pro-Gazans is such a popular position today when it comes to relatively popular, like 30% of the population or more. 30, like I've seen polls between like 30 and 40%, is incredibly heartwarming to go from like just saying slurs about like Muslims on TV and people just having fun with the idea of just randomly lynching a Muslim whenever they feel like it, right? To it being a real problem that Biden has the position that he does with Israel. It means a lot. It means a lot. Don't lose all the hard work that people have done, that Muslim Americans, that progressive organizations, that civil rights organizations have made in the last 20 years to come to this point, because there's so much more in the future. I don't know if this person has even talked about Israel, honestly. I don't know. I have no clue. Absolutely have no clue if she's even said anything about this whole thing. Here, let me even see. Let me scroll through her shit to even see. Okay? Oh, she tweets so damn much. She hasn't said a single word so far. Bro, she like retweets this old lady retweets goddamn CNN and Midas Touch. Midas Touch. Like, come on. Chill out. Just chill out, okay? I'm begging you to chill out. I'm begging you to calm down. I'm begging you to calm down. There was even an article written about her not too long ago. This is from the Daily Beast, all right? This was June 2023. And this is her. January 6th convict tells the truth about Trump. He's a cult boss, all right? Came out Monday after Donald Trump posted a compound falsehoods. American justice, 69-year-old grandma with cancer, given more prison time for walking inside U.S. Capitol than Hunter Biden for sharing classified documents with foreign regimes and multi-million-dollar bribery schemes. Trump endorsed the lies with a one-word comment: horrible. But that same grandma with cancer, who was actually 70, came right at him. Please, real Donald Trump, don't be using me for anything. I'm not a victim of January 6th. I pleaded guilty because I was guilty. Hashtag stop the spin. Pamela Hemphil of Idaho wrote on the platform. She added that Trump should not compare her to the current president's son. He didn't try to attack the Capitol, she tweeted. This is the type of shit grandma was posting. What the hell? Oh, yo, that looks like a skin in color. That looks like a skin in COD. That looks like a custom skin in Fortnite. What is happening? Grandma with the blicky? She got cookies for you. She got cookies and lead. Ah, she's a LARPer? No, she actually went there to kill people. She is not a LARPer. LARPing is not when you actually do the thing. She was doing the thing. She went there. She did it. LARPing is when you say that your politics is firebombing a hospital, but then not firebombing a hospital, okay? Instead of voting, we can instead firebomb an orphanage and then proceeding not to firebomb an orphanage. Mima on that shit. Yeah, Mima going crazy. And this is her. This is Mima. Hemphil says until 3 months ago, she was under the spell of what she calls the Trump cult. She attacked the January 6th rally as a self-appointed citizen journalist and photographer. And videographer. What the hell? That's literally what I do. Why I mispronounce it like that? And videographer. After her brother gave her a plane ticket to Washington. Oh, her brother's in on it too. He was trying to lift her spirits as she fought breast cancer. My brother calls. He says, "Hey you, since you're going to start chemo, why don't you go see Trump and video record that?" I said I couldn't afford it, but he said, "I'll give it to you as a Christmas present." 3 days after Christmas, "Hey, I'll send you to prison for your birthday. I know you're going through chemo." 3 days after Christmas, Hemphil announced on Facebook that she was going to Washington. It's not going to be a fun Trump rally that was planned for January 6th. It's war. She added, "The fight for America is real. Show up. I don't need to hear any excuses. We have no second chances. If millions, and I mean millions, show up, we may have a chance. Find a way." That's really funny because she was like, her excuse was, "I'm broke." Hemphil later said that she had not realized how lost she had become. You don't see it. You don't see it when you're in the cult. You don't recognize it. She says she still had 40 stitches from her breast surgery when she was caught up in the rush to the Capitol building. Yeah, that's real. That's real, like, cultism. To be addled by chemotherapy and still have open stitches, still have fresh stitches, and still run into the Capitol to fight for Donald Trump. Yeah, that's real. That's real culting. That's real actual death cult. I'm telling you, MAGA is a death cult. It really is. She credits one of the cops with saving her from serious injury. Oh, she could have died. A combination of excitement and the pain medication caused her to then urge the crowd to go in, she says. "This is your house. Your house." Oh, she needed some. Type a 1 in chat if you know that reference. Anyways, the FBI were really good to me, she recalled. They have their procedures, is what they really do. I said, I got a vape for a minute. I'm nervous. I've been in jail. I've never been in jail all my life. Then she was boosted. That's true. She was blood doping. Let's clip a game at the court side. Watch the streamer shoot like a 4-5. The streamer see me, see you, go home round you. 10 to marry in my bed. I'm a smart guy. I ain't talking to you streamers like apartheid. Hit some on this. Check my archive. Anyways. Who's the ultimate Hunter Avalon? So true. In April, Hemphil broke free of the spell. She told herself what her family had been telling her. I said, "This is it, Pam. This is a cult. Just face it. Back away 100%, she recalled. Those still deep in the cult were furious. I started debunking them and they got mad at me and started getting more mad when I started to smear campaign at me, she recalled. That I was a Fed agent, that I was Antifa, just silly children, high school stuff. She was excited. She was exiled from January 6th Twitter Spaces. She started one of her own that was filled with people who wielded the best weapon against the cult. Facts, she said. She came to understand how she and others became members of the Trump cult. It's called love bombing, she said. He's a rescuer trying to save the world, you know. On Monday, Hemphil responded to Trump on Truth Social. Too bad we don't have a black woman running, she said. Too bad we don't have a black woman running, she said. A very interesting statement here. So chat, I'm going to tell you, this is what happens when you don't read. We have a literacy problem in this country, and this is not helping it. Reading is probably one of the best things that you can do. Reading is so important. This is actually one of the most widely reported and understood cases of somebody leaving the Trump cult, the MAGA cult, that we have since January 6th, especially somebody who was at January 6th. She's been interviewed by CNN, MSNBC. Obviously, this is a Daily Beast article. There's so many times where she's gone out to talk about how she doesn't love Trump, how she's more left wing now, and how she doesn't agree with it. No, I don't think all of her opinions are good. Probably not. I don't know. She's like some 70-year-old lady who lives in Idaho, who lives in South Carolina. All of her opinions probably aren't great. I'm just going to be honest with you. But with that being said, just shitting on anybody who leaves the Trump cult is like really bad. I personally think really bad. I want to deprogram those type of people. I want them to understand why they're wrong. Because if they don't, have you seen what happens? Have you seen people that lose literally everything to like QAnon and the Trump cult? Have you heard of the videos? Have you heard the audio? Okay, of like the people who went to jail for trying to kill Nancy Pelosi for not overturning the election, allowing Donald Trump to be the God King Emperor of the United States forever. Have you heard them in jail every single morning and singing loudly the national anthem at each other to like show how they're all jailbirds and they'll never leave the Trump cult? Do you remember when they made a song out of them like singing the national anthem to each other? Like remember back in like the mid 2000s when boys would go into the bathroom and like see if they could all sing the Halo theme together? That's basically what they were doing, but with the national anthem to show their support for Donald Trump. That shit was so crazy. You know what the cage bird sings? You don't know what those people are like, man. They're insane. This lady is not one of them. She is just not one of them. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to say welcome back to somebody who lost their life to this type of stuff. This person, at the end of the day, I know we hate them. Minority to possible minority. Okay, they're victims. It's okay. It's okay to understand these people are victims. They're victims. Okay. She could have died that day. Be trampled to death like that other woman who brought a "Please Don't Tread on Me" flag. She could have been trampled to death and died. She could have missed her chemotherapy appointment. Her cancer could have been worse because Donald Trump tricked her into believing that she needs to fight for her country against the radical fucking left-wing mafia or whatever. Okay, victim, manipulated by a sociopath. You're right, complete victim. And yes, they victimize us. Somebody being a victim does not mean that they're left off the hook for like making more victims. But I don't think she really did anything besides walk into the Capitol and have bad opinions. But that's kind of it, right? I mean, there are lots of people that you know that vote for Donald Trump that aren't like super crazy. Like the people we talk about are like super duper giga MAGA cultists, right? But not everybody is so terrible. They really aren't. And sometimes people can be better. That's okay to believe that. It's okay. It's all right. You don't have to be so strongly against everybody. You really don't. You can leave some room in your heart for victims too. Even the victims who do bad things. It's true. Yeah, not all past Trump voters are people who want to kill all minorities or whatever, or hang Mike Pence. It's just not true. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. You don't have to go too crazy. You really don't. Yeah. This is what happens to a lot of people when they got a first-hand look of what it's like to actually be a Trump supporter. It's crazy. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.